We'll be like coffee break, a little stretch maybe. Alright, hello everyone. We're about halfway through, so thank you for sticking with us. I'm really excited to talk to you all today because Richmond has just become a place of home for me, and I'm excited to tell you about a little bit about me, how I got involved, and also the stories of Richmond here from the people who live in it. So today I'm going to be talking about social entrepreneurship and community development. So a bit about me to help you understand how I got involved with the work that I did this summer. So I come from a very rural area in Sussex, New Jersey. And during my sophomore year, I had a chance to travel to the Dominican Republic. And this is the first time that I was exposed to issues of healthcare disparities, where people don't have access to doctors. And then also about things like microfinance that also helps people build their own businesses, build their communities, and also get knowledge about their health. So then I went abroad last semester. It was a really beautiful country, as you can see. I had a great time there. You can see a nature theme throughout my life experience. And while I was there, I took the opportunity to do an internship at the Scottish Parliament. This is what it looks like on the inside. And I did healthcare research with a member of the Scottish Parliament, and his name was Dr. Richard Simpson. So while I was abroad and I was looking for my summer experience, I thought, okay, well, I had a chance to work in government, I had a chance to visit the Dominican Republic, and so I wanted to kind of come back and see, well, what are the issues here in Richmond, and how can I get involved in the grassroots efforts, not waiting for the government, not necessarily on the nonprofit side, but just as me. So then, this is my boss, Rob Martin. He's in the audience. Rob, if you want to say hi. So I reached out to Rob and I said, hi Rob, I'm a senior at U of R. I'm really interested in social entrepreneurship and learning what you do. And he connected me with his nonprofit, which is a microfinance here in Richmond. And they were partnering with Sustainable RBA to develop a regional sustainability plan. And so that's Mr. William Godfrey, who's head of the initiative. And then I worked with Dr. Erkwater. Oh, my boxes got ruined. But I wanted to highlight Dr. Erkwater class photo, as well as myself, who served as my academic mentor for the summer. So what is Sustainable RBA? Well, basically it's a long-term sustainability plan, looking at how to drive sustainability here in the region, not just as far as our economy, but in our health, in our transportation, in the way that we tackle environmental issues. And really, this was an effort not to really replicate other things that was happening, because we don't want to just add to the pile of ideas, but kind of a way of bridging everything that's already been happening. So the Capital Regional Collaborative released an economic development strategy, and the City of Richmond actually released a sustainability report for the city itself. And the CRC report was a 3-year plan. The City of Richmond, I think, was about a 5-year plan, I think. But we realized that we, A, needed something for the entire region, because ultimately the issues that affect in one area affects the region as a whole. And secondly, we need to look at way beyond 5 or 3 years, especially for someone like me. These issues that are happening now are going to affect me way in the future. Like, for example, I know I'm not going to get Social Security benefits when I, grow up. So these issues that are happening now, they matter to me. When I'm older, I want to, reap all the benefits too. So I particularly worked in the economy theme of the report. There's about 10 themes, and these are the regions that we are hoping to help out and collaborate with. So one of the great things about the summer, and one of my favorite things, was just the opportunity to talk to so many wonderful people. It's really difficult to get to know a region just simply by reading the news or just going on Wikipedia. It's not like I can go on Facebook or LinkedIn and say, so what's your basic profile? And so I really value the interviews that I had a chance to do with a lot of people here in Richmond, and particularly the people who are driving these changes. And so I got to meet people from all different aspects. So really business-oriented people like Mr. Ucrop and Mr. Mooney, to nonprofit people, to government people like Yvette Bruce, Secretary of Commerce and Trade. So had a real great opportunity to ride the GRTC all around Richmond, walking up and down hills. I lost 10 pounds and gained it all back when I came back here, because who can resist the desserts here, huh? So I just want to take you through the basic conversations that we had and some of the feedback that I received from my meetings with these individuals. I'll just skip over this part. But, okay, so to start off, to kind of get a better understanding of what I was exactly looking for in my economic sustainability theme, what I was looking at is, well, if an individual comes in, they're looking for a job, well, we send them through education and training for employment. That's generally how we do it here. And there's 3 avenues in which they can pursue jobs. They can become an entrepreneur, start their own business, or they can go into a company, or they can go into what we call social enterprises, which are businesses who purposely maximize the social impact in addition to their bottom line profits. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, great. So here I come in after doing a lot of research, after talking to people, what are some of the fresh ideas that we want really happening in our region? And the first one was, well, grow these social enterprises, grow these businesses that intentionally in their DNA, the way that they operate and make their money is by doing good for the community. And the problem here in the region is there's just a lack of emphasis in that. So we have a lot of businesses that are starting, kind of like the Silicon Valley mentality, but we don't have one specifically geared towards social entrepreneurship. So I thought, okay, well, that's what we can do. We can incentivize it. We can, have more funding for it. And where can we start? We can start here at our university, where there's already so many resources. And now, me being a student, I thought, well, use us, make us write our thesis in these, make us do our internships in these, just create opportunities. But thank goodness for my mentors in my limited scope of thinking. Dr. Urquhart pointed out, well, think about it. If we invest in you guys are leaving after 4 years. Why do we want to invest in you? This is for the city. This is for the region. And she pointed out a very good point that when thinking about sustainability, we have to really target resources within the universities themselves and not towards the students. So mobilizing, the CCE, mobilizing the departments and faculty and staff, and make them look into what social entrepreneurship is. And how to create more of the growth for the region. So now the feedback that I got was, yes, this is a great idea. This was actually the recommendation that a lot of people really enjoyed. So some of the ideas that stemmed from that was, well, create some networking events. We have a lot of social entrepreneurship already happening out in Charlottesville and William and Mary, even down at VCU a little bit. And so it's just a matter of bringing everyone together and kind of start having these conversations. But of course, one of the issues is that first we have to understand and kind of agree upon a definition. And that is, social entrepreneurship is a very wide and broad term. And some people define it one way and another person defines it another way. And I noticed when talking with a lot of people here, they all had varying definitions. So I think to start off, we should all start off with a understanding of a solid definition. So my second was, everyone loved these things called worker-owned cooperatives. And does anyone know what they are? Yes.
Maybe not, never mind.
I mean, you can take a shot at it.
Where like a yarn cooperative would be a bunch of people that make yarn get together and like try and create a business together with their yarn making.
Okay, sort of along that line. So basically, it's a business in which it is owned by the people who work there. So really great idea. Why don't we give ownership to the people who actually have a stake in the business that they're doing, give them more ownership and opportunities for asset building. The problem is, there was a lack of ownership opportunities here. So I thought, okay, well, we can bring more of that in. And specifically, as we're growing these businesses, we can. Oh gosh, I have 2 minutes. So I'll just skip that slide then, but real quickly. Basically, this worker-owned cooperative is really popular and it really worked out in Cleveland, Ohio. But as some people here in the region told me, it's kind of viewed as a socialist model. We're working within a very conservative area. So we kind of have to scrap that, and why don't we work with employee stock ownership companies, which are already tried and true here. So that brought me to this real fundamental lesson of the summer, which was sometimes what we need is not necessarily the next big thing, the next innovative model, but just to look back on the fundamentals and what do we have already here that are working and have proven true, and let's scale those up instead of trying to bring in a whole new model. So I'm just going to skip through this. Okay, challenges, implementation, and of course understand the regional climate. This is a slide that I really want to focus on, and that is what were the personal lessons that I gained. First of all, Richmond here, as a region and as a city, is full of really passionate people. And one of the reasons why I came to love it here and really want to stay here after graduation is simply by you guys, by people who are here and are invested and really committed to driving change. At the same time, working on these issues are very hard, and they're systemic. There's a long history of racism here. There's a long history of education problems that, for someone like me, can be very disheartening. And I know that a lot of my friends have gotten burned out just simply by the difficulty of the issues that we're working with. But at the same time, I've just come to really value just the opportunity to be here at University of Richmond, just by going out to the city. Rob connected me with a lot of people that he's known here, and that's the thing about people out in places like Highland Park, places in poorer areas. They don't have stuff like social networks where people can kind of introduce them to another person for a job opportunity, or here, this is where you can go to get help. And this is one of the underutilized aspects, I think, one of the least stressed. So I really value the time that I spent on my internship. As you could tell, I was able to grow my own personal network and have a lot of fun at the same time. And because I'm more of a call to action person rather than just the live up in here and the theory person, this is something that you can do. So we're having a presentation on basically how our sustainability report is progressing. Deals with the details. And of course, I don't want to undervalue the importance of thank you. And that is my boss, Rob. Thank you so much. You're my greatest fan, and I'm your greatest fan. And I really value the mentorship that you provided. And of course, coworkers also make your office experience a lot happy. And Lana, my coworker, was great. My boss, Bill Godfrey, Dr. Erkwater, for helping me again organize my thoughts and helping me really refine some of my recommendations, and Dr. and Mrs. Burhans for your support. All of us here in this room, we really want to go out and do good causes, but oftentimes they're not as valued as, let's say, working in the corporate space. And so thank you so much for inspiring and for helping us to pursue these causes without worrying about financial and all those loans that we have to pay back. And of course, Kathy, thank you so much for putting this together. Really, thank you very much, and thank you so much, everyone.